Okay, let's start. Okay, let's start. Thank you. Now we are moving to the another topics, very much familiar with business school topics. And first, let me show the workshop. I joined the workshop with MIT, use MIT in the USA, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in USA, and together with the University of Tokyo, their workshop there. And I joined, I give a talk there. And, I'll show you the very interesting slides obtained by the staff in MIT. So then we have almost, Dean told me that we have to finish not later than 4:30. So I'm going to talk about 3 topics. One is a workshop with MIT. And the other is possibilities of the ski area in Changchun, because I'm very much familiar with ski. And the third topic is Porter hypothesis, Michael Porter's hypothesis. So let me start about the MIT workshop for the first. Yeah. Maybe most of you have the mobile phone with you. Everybody has a mobile phone. Maybe most of you are using an iPhone or iPad or that kind of so-called smartphone. So I will show you the example. This, will you please turn off the lights? Is better. Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you. こっちもね。そっちもね。Okay. Yeah, okay. これね、a little bit ちょっとダークなんで。maybe, sensible city. You have the mobile phone, mobile items with you. So, and if you have mobile phone, GPS, global positioning system is equipped, and you will recognize where you are. So I will show you several interesting results, for example. Okay. Nowadays, I belong to the Center of Spatial Information Science at the University of Tokyo as a visiting scholar. So they are doing something like this. You can see this is a movie in Circo Massimo in Roma. And red colors means how often the mobile phone activities is going on. This is the result. For example, this is a World Cup final, year 2006. Maybe some of you might be interested in soccer games. And this is a final match between France and Italy. And that red colored areas, more people are using mobile phones. So they are using mobile phone while watching the World Cups. And in the games, maybe some of you might remember that Zidane, the captain of the France, he got angry and he hit the head of the Italian guys. So at that time, the telephone becomes very busy. And also this is a concert of the Madonna in Roma. And this fact suggests that nowadays, if people going to the concert hall, they are using mobile phone to let their friends to know, oh, I'm now joining the concert hall or something like that. So you can see here the concert has started, so more and more people are starting to use the mobile phones. So this is what the MIT staff do that. And also the staff of the University of Tokyo using this kind of methodology and trying to figure out the human activities in the computers. And also this is Amsterdam, in case of Amsterdam. This you can see the small letters here, year 2007, December 28th. If the new year comes, people are expected to not use the telephone. Because of the telephone becomes very busy. Or Happy New Year. A New Year has come. Happy New Year or something like that. So you can see this is 2007, December the 29th. And the Happy New Year. The Happy New Year period is coming soon. So the more and more people are using public mobile phones at that point. So it's 2007, December the 31st. So New Year has come, so the more and more people are using the mobile phone. This is a human activities expression is using the mobile phones. So this is the case of Amsterdam. And making use of the mobile phone data sets, we can do this kind of visualization of the human activities. And also, this is the case of Amsterdam as a Happy New Year event. And this is very important, interesting story. And I mean that nowadays, economic activity is a very close relationship with information exchange. So you can see this is a daytime and this is nighttime. So you can see the Earth is moving around. And this is the IP traffic outgoing from New York. New York is a center of the economic activities in the world. So many information is go out from the New York and moving to another places. And the information is larger and larger the information. The larger economic activities. So you can see from New York, every places they are sending information. In Asian, not only Asian countries, but in other places. So this scene is very important, very interesting. So from New York, many information is coming to London, or Paris, or Egypt. And if you watch the Asian countries, this is in the South America, you can see Rio de Janeiro, many information is coming. And as for the Asia, is very interesting. Shanghai, this is Korea, and this is China. And China, maybe Jilin is included, and many information is coming from New York to Jilin, and also from New York to Shanghai and Beijing. And the size of the information is much bigger than that of Japan now. So this is a kind of outgoing from New York, but next slide is incoming to New York. The information coming from outside to New York is shown here. So the many places the information is coming to the New York from many places. So it's going something like this. It's moving, and Africa, only South Africa you can see. The information is coming from New York to South Africa. That means in Africa it's a black continent. Most portion of the Africa, the underdeveloped is shown. So every place is the information is outgoing to New York. So this is London. London is a center of the financial points. So the information is coming. This is South America. And in Asia, you can see this one, these places. This is Tokyo. And maybe Shanghai and Beijing, many information is coming from Shanghai to Beijing to New York. So nowadays, information plays a very important role for the economic development. So they're making use of this information. New attempts is going on to estimate the intent of the economic activities. So this slide is very interesting from points of the human activities. So the staff of MIT is working on this research. And also they are doing another topics. This is New York City. And this is the maps. The color reflects in which portion the people comes from. Because in New York, as you know, the September 11th, the tragedy in New York. So the city government of New York pays more attention in which time in which countries people are living in New York, something like this. So if they have the mobile phone, the immigrants or foreigners from outside, they have the mobile phone. So the city of New York can easily handle in which part and how many people are coming in this point, at this right points now. So they are developing this kind of software with a collaboration with MIT. Okay, thank you. Will you please turn on the lights? Okay, my display has finished on there. Okay, so I'm moving to the next topics of the gene. Attractiveness of gene. スライドショー表示、はい、現在のスライドから。So it takes a little bit time. So I talked about the agriculture, and you have snow in winter time. You have snow. In Japan, we have very famous story. The founder of the Low Temperature Institute, Hokkaido University, Professor Nakaya Sensei, he says very famous word. Snow is snow is a letter from the sky. Very famous story. And this picture I took last month, at the end of January, in Hokkaido Taisetsuzanke. And this house belongs to the Hokkaido Education University facilities. And the temperature is also very low, like this, the same that of these areas in winter time, almost below minus 25 or something like that. So very cold, but very beautiful areas. And this is sea ice here I mentioned before at the beginning. And also you can see the sea ice. This is a picture of sea ice. In the Sea of Okhotsk, at this time of the year, you can see the ice on the sea. This the sea is covered with ice. In the Sea of Okhotsk, in the eastern parts of Hokkaido, is covered with snow here. And this picture I took in Vancouver, in Canada. I took this picture, and these areas are huge ski areas in the world. And the last Olympic game was held here in the Whistler Mountain, the Black Mountain here. So my idea is maybe in Jilin, you have the much snow and you also have the ski area in Jilin. So maybe there must be possibilities to develop the ski area and let the people to enjoy the winter sports during the winter time. And I conducted a survey to the ski area near the Changchun province, and they told me that the staff during the summertime they are working for the caddies and for the golf ground, and in the farmers they have no jobs in the winter time, so maybe they can work in the winter time at the ski area is another facilities. In Japan, around 20 years ago, ski was very popular. Now in Japan, ski sport is not so popular now, but almost 20 years ago, it was very popular. So I'm sure more and more people are interested in enjoying ski in China, and I think Changchun province has the possibilities to enjoy skis. So that's one topic. And the final topics, I'm going to give a talk about this porter hypothesis. Oh, just a moment. Hold on. Then this is sorry, sometimes in Japanese, but I'm going to give a talk about environment and competitiveness of companies. This is a very important issue. Now I will show you the example of the Japanese companies. Now we conducted the survey to the Japanese companies, and Japanese governments, they regulate the environment. I mean, the Japanese governments ask for the Japanese companies not to produce waste. I mean, reduce the producing waste, or pay more attention to the environment. So that will result in the competitiveness of companies. So I have a question to them. Okay, will you please translate? I mean, in your the companies in China, which companies pay more attention to the environment? Pay attention to the environment. Protect the attention to the environment. So I want to know that. And which company? I want to know the company's names and what that company does. I want to know that. Okay, please ask.
老师想问大家一个问题，就是说在中国的话，大家认为哪一个企业是那个做的是？老师想问个问题，就是说在中国，大家认为哪一个企业是对那个环境做出贡献的，而且那个企业是做什么的？有没有哪个同学知道？老师想知道那个企业的名字，以及那个企业的主要的是做什么工作呀？主要的行为是什么？有没有哪个同学有那个想法想说的？任何一个企业都可以，就是对环境有关联的、有联系的，有吗？
This is a very important question. Very important question.
Just the name and the staple behavior of the company.
Yeah. And what they do.
就是那个企业的名字和那个企业主要的那个工作是什么？有没有哪位同学知道想说的？没有吗 ？Okay, Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee.
I only know some companies that have on stock market, their names on stock market.
On stock market.
Like Chongyu Hanbao is a company that concentrating on purifying water and water supplies kind of thing. And a couple of companies, I think they are more concerned with the environment now, and they got their stocks to the market already.
So you mean the stock market companies?
Yeah.
Who which invest the companies but paying attention?
Yeah. And some companies like they're using wind to generate electricity.
Wind generating.
That kind of as well, yeah.
Wind generating companies.
Southern part of China.
Southern part of China.
Southeast, southwest.
Okay, thank you. Wind generating companies. Okay. So there are several examples. So I will introduce you the Japanese companies' activities very quickly. And we conducted the several companies like steel companies and brewery companies and electric companies and logistic companies and electric companies and gas companies. I show you that example, sorry in Japanese, but I try to explain in English. This insurance company, Sompo Japan, is one of the biggest insurance companies in Japan. And as Lee-san taught me that, they are paying more attention as eco funds, because insurance company, they gather the money, they have the money from the stakeholders, from the customers, and they have to invest the money to the companies to get to get more money. So they are paying more attention to the eco funds. Eco funds and SRI. SRI is also called socially responsibility investment. So they are paying more attention to that. And also, Sompo Insurance, Sompo Japan companies pays more attention to the green consumer or NGO or NPO and stakeholders. And they are doing that. This is a very important thing from the points of insurance companies. And also, they are the insurance companies. So they are making research and developments for making insurance for the many fields. For example, if you are president of the companies, and if you buy the land, but if that land is contaminated and polluted, you will lose the money. So in that case, Sompo Japan invented the new insurance. If the president of the company buys polluted lands, they will compensate for that. So that kind of dojo-osen, this insurance, compensating the contamination, polluted lands, is now they are increasing now. And also they are providing eco funds, the so-called eco-friendly companies. They are paying more attention to the, they invest more to the eco-friendly companies. And the insurance is said to be the Buranoi, so-called the name of the forest. And also they are supporting societies. So they are having the lectures for the participants, and also making advice and NPOs. And also that they are paying more attention to the students. Students are like the company who pays more attention to the environment in Japan. I don't know in case of China, but in Japan, if the company pays more attention to the environment, students are willing to work there. And Suntory brewery companies, that's Suntory's brewery companies making whiskey or beers, brewery companies, and they say most important thing is the quality of the products and the safety of the products. It's a food. If it's dangerous, maybe the Suntory company will be in serious problems. So they pay much attention to the quality and safeness. And plus alpha, they are paying more attention to the environment. But the problem is consumer. Buying the consumer who pays money for buying brewery, I mean the who drinks and beer, they pay more attention to the price of the products, not to the environmental issues. So that's the problems for the Suntory companies. And they are making an innovation to the process of making the process of the products. So if their innovation and the improvement of technological improvements makes the reducing the electricities or reducing the usage of waters and reducing the waste. And reducing materials result in the reducing the costs, and they can get the competitiveness. That's a way of thinking in the Suntory brewery companies. And also, they made a fertilizer from the waste. At that stage now, the waste were abundant, and they pay money to to the companies, and okay, please bring this waste, I pay you the money. But Santry changed the way, making use of fertilizer from the waste, so they can get profits from the waste. That's what Santry company did for the improvement of environment and improvement of profits. And also there, またあれですね。まあいいや、もう一回あげんかな。maybe I'm going to finish in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, so if it starts again, I hope it takes. So Japanese companies pays more attention to the environment from the point of the cost. I mean, if you use less materials, you can reduce the cost, and then you can get more profits. So that's what Japanese company does. And also start again. Can you do start again? No? Yeah, it's wait. It's coming soon. Okay. And very important thing is economic income. Just a moment for this. And there are problems of the pet bottles. I'm using pet bottles often, but the problem is the waste of the pet bottles. The government pays money for that, not the producing, not the companies. So that's the problem happens in Japan. So those people who never drinks pet bottles pays money to collecting the waste of the pet bottles. So there are conflicts in the brewery companies in Japan. And Asahi Beer. Maybe some of you heard of the Asahi Brewery companies, Super Dry. And Asahi Brewery companies are now investing much in China, and they are doing using a returnable, not the pet bottles, but they are paying attention to the returnable bottles. I mean, if you drink the beers, and you can return it. But as for the returnable methodology is now invaded by the aluminum cans, because much easier that systems. And also they are thinking of that, paying more attention to the reducing cost and reducing the emission of the carbon dioxide emissions. They are working for that. And also they are paying more attention to the water strategy and waters in Asahi Brewery companies. And they say very interesting stories that environmental tax is charged as a penalties, but they don't like environmental taxes, because the inflation, they are buying emission rights by paying money. They do nothing, just paying the money. So that's the impression is bad. So the Asahi Brewery companies people taught me that. And also the Sagawa Logistics companies is doing very interesting stories. They are doing third-party logistics systems, and in one place they have the stockyards in the companies. So they pay more attention to the picking and stockyard and tags, putting the tags in the stockyards. For example, if you order the book through the website of Saga logistic companies, so nearest logistics station, they can print out the books there and then deliver it, because they have the facilities. So that's what Saga logistics groups are doing that. So I mean the more variable, adding more values on the process of logistics. That's what Saga Queuing does. And also the headquarters of Saga Logistics Company is in Kyoto. And as you know, COP3 was held in Kyoto at 1990s. And they are using natural gas trucks instead of using diesel fuels. So that will, finally, at last, they could reduce the fuel cost because natural gas is a little bit cheaper than that of the diesel oil. So that was the Saga Logistics Company does. And maybe you don't have the tankering system in China. Do you have the tankering? Do you know tankering? No. Nobody knows tankering. No? Tankering is you can send your parcels. I mean, you can send your gifts to your friends. But how do you get you have the Amazon in China, no? Normally.
Amazon, yeah, we just have.
But how do you get the products? By tankering? By post?
No. Just like this, we have different kinds of logistic companies.
Logistic companies. Okay.
Lots of just local companies.
Local companies. Okay, you have the local companies. And in the very interesting story, when you send parcels, you use what time you want to send this? I mean時間指定 this one selecting the time. And this will reduce the cost because without writing the time schedule, if the postman goes to your house, but it is not the case, you are not at home. But if you write, I will be 10 o'clock, please deliver me at 5 o'clock, something like that. So you are sure to be there. So that will result in reducing the cost. So very interesting results from the Saga logistic companies. And also the natural gas cars finally reduce the cost of. And this is the case of the Saga logistic companies. And they are paying more attention to the global warming for them. And they are doing various kind of things. But in Japan, the tax is still expensive. So the Saga Queuing people replies us that please reduce the transportation fee. That was Saga logistic company's wish. And also Nippon Denki Corporation, they are using reuse and recycle methodologies, and it works well. This one, and also they're reducing the consuming of energy. The national Nihon Denki Corporation does. So this is Nihon Denki, and Nihon Denki is that one. So in Japan, we conducted several surveys on the Japanese companies, and the result is if the companies pays attention to the environment, they can reduce the cost mainly. So that will return to the gaining more profits is the result. And also if the companies pays more attention to the environment, the impression, the more and more students want to work there. So that means more good students coming to the companies. So as a result, the company's competitiveness will strong. So finally, I will show you about the Green New Deal. Have you ever heard of the Green New Deal in USA? Anyone? Green New Deal. Obama-san, Green New Deal. You don't know that? Nobody knows. Do you know that New Deal? New Deal. But it's so-called Green New Deal. So I show you finally the America's Green New Deal policies, and I will talk a small talk about the results of the Green New Deal, and then I finish my lecture. Just now. Green New Deal. Green New Deal. Just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. I'm going to. I cannot find it out. Okay, finally, my movie.電気しまってるかもしれない。それで早く。
How can they invest in cleaner technology? if they don't know what policies are going to be pursued.
Okay, this is a movie of the Green New Deal conducted in USA. And, and in 2008, because of the economic crisis, demand shocks, USA government tried to use a Green New Deal. New Deal is around year 1930s. We have the world economic crisis. The president of Roosevelt, they made a New Deal. I mean, making dams or building roads and that kind of things, and make people to work. That's a New Deal. And this time, after 2008, USA government tried to make a New Deal, but green, making green innovation and green data sets. But they failed recently because of China. This is a very interesting story because Obama-san, USA, they have a very strong solar power energy companies in USA. But at that time, Chinese government did not support the companies in green energy companies like solar panels or other kind of things. But they have a competition, they have a competitiveness. So the solar powers in China has a very strong, becomes very strong. So they almost all of the solar panel company in USA was beaten by the companies from China. So that's the story of the end of the Green New Deal. So the Obama-san is now, he failed this Green New Deal policy decisions. So he's difficult to be elected. So finally, I'm going to show you several movies about Apple computers. Maybe some of you are using Apple iPhone. So I'm going to show you several Apple movies and the history of the Steve Jobs. I also giving a talk about Steve Jobs in at my universities. And now I'm going to give a very quick talk about the Steve Jobs and what he did and with his movies. And that will makes a new way of thinking and the innovation or possibilities of the human beings. Final. That's my final presentation. So maybe no need to turn on the lights. Just a moment. Anyway, maybe how many of you are using an iPhone? Please raise your hand. Only you, right? Mina Android. Oh, several, not me. Okay. Maybe Chinese people like Apple computers. I think I heard of that. So I'll show you the first movie. is a very famous commercial movie by Steve Jobs at 1984. They made Apple computers and the first laptop in the world, and they introduced to the people. And there are very famous novels entitled 1984. So making by these commercial movies, Apple becomes very famous in the world. And next, Steve Jobs, and then once he becomes very rich, but he is kicked out from Apple computers. But he returns again in the middle of 1990s. So the first his products I will show you next one. This is very famous movies too. It's so-called Colors. I mean this one. This is a very famous commercial videos. Before this is called iMac, color maps. But before that, the computer is thought to be kind of a tool or not the fashionable thing. But Steve Jobs makes the computer very fashionable ones, and everyone wants to buy this around the middle of the 90s. So this is a very famous stories. And then Steve Jobs made iPad. So I show the example of the iPad. iPad.
Songs in your pocket.
This is a very famous commercial movies. What Steve Jobs did, and this movie is very interesting because from the point of sound, he is now watching the movie from his computer. But if you connect to his iPad, the sound becomes a stereo sound. So from that point, this commercial was very, very impressive to the people. This portion, the sound will change. So this point is from the point of commercial. This is very impressive movies. And then also they made a concept iPhotos. This is very interesting.
tell you something. This is your mother on the way to the hospital. She had to drive because I was too nervous. These are her suitcases. You really think she needs all those bags? These are your grandparents. You don't know them yet, but you will. That's your mom holding you for the first time. What grandparents do? I think you know what I mean. iPhoto. Shoot it, save it, share it.
This concept is also very, very interesting. And finally, they made iPhone. iPhone ですね、around the mid of 2005 or something like that. So I showed finally iPhone, the last one. Here.
So, say you're watching Pirates of the Caribbean. Did somebody say calamari? The closest would be...
And 最後、last Steve Jobs. Okay, and this is the return of the Steve Jobs, very famous speeches. Maybe you can check on the YouTube or any other. You can watch YouTube from China. Okay, so let's consider about this later. Anyway, so will you please turn on the lights there, please? Okay. So thank you for taking time today. I'm giving a talk, so many things. But I just want to know about the possibilities of using information technology and also the paying attention to the environment and also the food shortage programs in China. And I think we have many possibilities for future. And so I hope today's lecture, maybe I hope you to find something from today's lectures. And thank you for coming. I finished my lecture today. So if you have any questions, please come later.
大家如果有什么问题的话，想问老师的话，现在可以手问。有吗？
And if anybody wants to have a question, please come to me. It's okay. Okay.
好的，就是如果中国人是有问题的话，就私下问吧。It's over.
It's over. It's over. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Oh, it's okay. So sorry for that.
Like I said, I have to find money to survive on their own.
In China, you have the program. I have before the punishment. So the paying money is cheaper.
Then to research. To do research.
So that's the problem of Chinese companies. I have it. But we are getting rich. The Chinese companies are getting more big and more big and more strong. So I hope they will pay more attention before. In Japan, we used to be no paying attention.
You know, the environmental protection issue is a thing that have to do. It has to be done.
Yes.
In China, politics rule everything. Because
Chinese government are trying to let the company to regulate, just regulate.
Yeah.
And let the Chinese company to pay more attention.
I mean, how the Japanese government public awareness of environmental protecting at first place?
First place, because Chinese people, Japanese people feel that company does not pay attention. They don't buy. Boycott. They buy boycott.
Because you're saying that Japanese companies, they are living on public support, right? Not basically state found.
No. They are doing by themselves.
Yeah. People just stop buying the product. The company does not pay attention to the environment.
Yes. So in that case, the Japanese companies want to pay more attention to the. They have to do that. Otherwise, they will lose the markets. Yeah, no, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for lecture.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
So, when are we gonna leave?
The day after tomorrow, on Friday.
What's your schedule?
Tomorrow maybe Zhao Lan-san will make arrangements, so maybe we can tomorrow, sometime tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
You want to go to another city in China, except for maybe have plans to go to other cities.
This time. I'm leaving the day after tomorrow.
Tomorrow you will go back to
The day after tomorrow, on Friday. Near business, Tenjin. Tenjin. Tenjinはスーパーエクスプレスだった。スーパーエクスプレス。新幹線。
So it just take 33 minutes from Tenjin to Beijing.
Someday near future I want to. Next time if I have a chance.
I strongly recommend you to the Tianjin province. It's a nice place.
You know why you come from Tenjin to Beijing? To Jilin?
Why?
Why?
Because after I take the examination from high school and my do you know Nankai University?
Nanjing University.
Nankai University. Also very famous, especially in economics.
In Tenjin.
Also in China, it's a very popular one, especially for economics. But you know, the grade is very high, the mark. You have to achieve very high mark, and you can get there. So I didn't have so high mark. So I choose, how to say, not the best one, maybe the better one, Jilin University.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like this university too.
Yeah, students are very nice.
Yeah, and the university gave me a lot of opportunity, so I can go to Osaka.
Now you come to Osaka.
And so next year you will go to Changchun province again.
Next year, I will in Canada.
Canada?
From the end of this month, I'm moving to University of British Columbia for 1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
So, how to say?
Do you have your name card? Do you have a name card?
Before I had name card, but I didn't take it.
You can write it. ここに書いてもらう。彼女 I got name card from her.
Yeah. This is not me.
でしょ?
I can write it.
Yeah, please. Thank you. でもどこでもI give my name card to you.
Yeah, thank
Again,
you.
I might give you last time. じゃあここに、
Thank you.
じゃあここに書いてもらおうか。どうしよう。ジャスト後ろはね。あ、そうそこに書いて。
My name is Han Ye. My email is This is my name, Han Ye, and my email address forever.hanye@gmail.com. Yeah. And my major is industrial.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. Let's keep contact. Thank you. And thank you for coming today. ありがとうございました。
It's my pleasure.
よかったです。お会いできてよかった。